Welcome back to the Wonder Bros Pod, where we are reclaiming childhood wonder. And we're doing that through the power of storytelling.
Yeah, and today we are working our way through the Countdown to Doomsday is what we're calling it. It is our first series, kind of representing our first season, where we are rewatching all of the MCU movies in order of release and doing our own Countdown to Doomsday, which comes out Avengers Doomsday on December 18th. And so we are leading up to that, and today we are on episode 15, Marvel film 15, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
If you're just joining us, we wanted to do this story as a way to reclaim our own sense of childhood wonder. And one of the ways that Cody, you and I connected in the last few years, we've known each other for 15 years, but man, these movies were not just a sea change in cinema, but they also were a culture change in cinema, what we would accept in theater. And then it was weirdly, by whatever universal force, a way for you and me to reconnect as friends.
Yeah, and it has been the driving force behind our friendship. We may not before. Now we hang out all the time. But
that's right.
But before that, and honestly, this podcast
twice a year.
Yeah, it would be like twice a year, and it was because we'd go to Marvel movies together.
That's right.
Like, who should I call? Oh, I know exactly who to call. There's only one person I know who loves Marvel, maybe as much as I do.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So this isn't meant to be just another Marvel recap. Podcast that happens. There are thousands of episodes, dozens of people. We actually reference them here often. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said the word Eric Voss and New Rockstars.
You did in last episode, though.
That's right. If anybody's tracking,
I think it's the first time.
Episode 14, I skipped it. And yeah, right. I know. I'm sorry, Eric. Please forgive me.
I'm sure he's listening to every episode.
That's right. He's religiously. He misses no moments. That's right. He wants to know the next joke. But this is not by nature, the Wonder Bros doesn't exist just to recap Marvel. We actually are currently planning, as of this taping, to go do our very first Ren Fair together.
We are.
We're going to go do
this
something.
Weekend.
I know. We're going to go do something. There's 4 of us going. We're going to shoot some B-roll. We're going to go absorb it. We're going to go in all in. Cody's already got his costume picked out. I'm working on mine now.
Wait until the very last minute.
I know. Yeah. It's funny enough. It would be actually very like me to do it on the way.
Yeah.
And so since I'm even doing it a couple days in advance, I'm a procrastinator by nature. That's right. I'm learning. Anyway, so all of that said, Wonder Bros exist to be more than Marvel. But right now, what a great project. We have been able to not just have fun, tell jokes, engage with people online, but also get into some deep things that have and it's going to happen in this episode. I will tell you, there are 4 movies. There are 4 movies that I ugly cry in. I mean, literally, I have had to. I was one of them. I'll talk about it in a second. One of them, my kids were watching it with me, and and I was married at the time when it first came out, and I'm crying so hard that my now ex-wife sort of ushers the children out of the room,
to leave me there. See Dad
That's right. To leave me there, to let me just to take. She puts him to bed, right? Poor kids. But there are 4 movies. The first one is Coco.
Yeah, of course.
Now, and that is as an Enneagram 4. I want to know I matter.
Yeah.
And to know that this guy, his whole premise is, please remember me. Mm-hmm. Please don't forget me.
Yeah. That's funny how that is what made you ugly cry with that movie, but what made me ugly cry in the theater with it was that I saw it probably a week and a half before my granny, who I was very close with, died. Yeah. And to see that depiction of life and death and the whole concept. And this is also in a time where I was very much, tearing apart and deconstructing my own faith and my own belief system. So I had no framework for death in that moment. And I didn't understand, other than just that we die and that's the end. And so the thought of my, favorite person growing up and somebody I was so close to, not existing anymore. I mean, it inspired a song. There's an entire song that I have on my last record called Intrusive Thoughts that's about a panic attack in the shower because of this idea of thinking about death out. And it was a couple months after she died. So it really was stuck with me for a really long time. But it's actually the moment that you see this this massive, very magnified, close-up view of the grandmother's hands. And it reminded me of my grandmother's hands. And of course, this was all about death and and she dies at the end of the movie, right? The grand spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it. And
if you haven't seen it, fuck off. Go watch the movie.
Right, you should watch
You
it.
deserve to have that spoiled. It's a fantastic fucking Pixar movie.
It is. It's a really, really great movie, and so that's what got me. And it was just, it was a very, not I guess therapeutic moment, sure, but it was just a great moment for me to be able to kind of release that and let go. It's funny because I was with my now wife and her parents, and they were all asleep beside me. All three of them. They all have this problem. They all have this problem. They fall asleep in movies.
That's awesome.
And they were literally all
cultural.
Just...
That's right.
That's right. It's like
we go to movies because we haven't slept in a while.
Yeah, it's a great place to sleep.
Good for them. That's awesome. Yeah. So for me, it was a little different. It was my first experience with the Dia de los Muertos. The idea that
sure, same, really.
Yeah, it's the idea that you actually die twice. The first time you die is when your body dies. Second time you die is when the last person who remembers you dies, and your memory passes away. Man, that gets in. The second movie that I ugly cry in is, and don't make fun of me. I don't care. Fucking make fun of me. The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I would not make fun of you. I love that movie.
Well, the entire story is about you don't see the good right at home. Mm-hmm. Like there's this illusion of good out there.
Yeah.
And man, I kind of hope my ex-wife sees this because there was a lot of good. There was a lot of not great. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of work we needed to do, but there's a lot of good.
Right.
And I think that ultimately both of us were looking for a good out there. Mm-hmm. And man, that was rough. The third movie is Les Mis.
Of course.
I mean, this is my story. Jean Valjean steals because he's trying to rescue somebody. He goes to prison. And then the rest of his life, he's running from his past while also trying to actively make amends as somebody who's been, redeemed by the bishop, by the priest.
Right.
And I don't cry in the movie until he makes it. He dies, and he crosses over into the beyond, and he sees everybody. He sees Cosette. He sees everybody there that has been there with him in his life, and it makes me think of this guy. Funny enough, I only actually know his first name because we were in recovery together. His name is Jeff, and we were on a 12-step meeting every morning at 7:30 a.m., just a daily sobriety renewal meeting. And he was always there, and he's like, my name is Jeff from Massachusetts. My name is Jeff from Massachusetts. That's all I know about him. I've never met the guy in person, never saw him.
Wow.
And then after a couple of years of him being there and me being there on this daily sobriety renewal meeting, global community, one day he said, hey, guys, I'm also dealing with something else. Just got diagnosed with cancer. But the good thing is I'm sober. Fast forward a few months, and he doesn't show up. And we all have his cell phone number because we're all on the same. And so I text his cell phone number, and his wife responds. And she says, thank you, and please pass on my gratitude to everybody there because y'all saved his life. And he died sober, and we had a lovely marriage because of the what you guys offered.
Wow.
Like, he made it. An addict knows what's going to kill them. Mm-hmm. They're going to die from their addiction.
Right.
Either because their addiction takes their life or because recovery has given them the gift of dying from something else.
Right.
And he got to die from something else. He got to die from cancer. He didn't die from drugs. He didn't die from alcohol. He didn't die from liver failure.
Yeah.
He got to die from something else. Mm-hmm. And so he made it, just like Jean Valjean and just like my hope. And so, man, when I watch Les Mis, I'm even now like, fuck, I just can't.
Yeah.
And then, of course, because of my own story, a lot of my own story around family, but Guardians of the Galaxy hits that father experience. I don't like to use the word father wound because it's more like a father experience, but like hits that father experience for me of having both a biological father and a stepdad, of having a family of choice and a family of origin, of making some decisions around that, including distancing myself from biological family for a season. Mm-hmm. Man, I watched the end of this, and of course it'll come up later on in the episode. But man, when we get there, dude, I ugly fucking cry.
Yeah,
it's intense for me. Yeah, I love it. I'm in for it because I'm Enneagram 4. So I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go feel real sad together. That will make us feel connected.
Yeah, sure.
But it also
you're not wrong.
I know. I've done my Enneagram work too, buddy. Just because I don't have an Enneagram podcast doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. By the way, I love your Enneagram podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shout out to the other one.
The other one.
Definitely go over there and
check out enneagram5.com.
And be friends with Josiah too. He's a great. I'm a better friend, but he's known you longer. Good.
I love you both individually and in your own ways. You don't have to be the favorite, Josh.
That's right. That's the exact thing I say to my children whenever they're like, "Hey, which one of you do you like more?"
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I go, none of you. Actually, I don't like any of you. You're all assholes. No, that's not what I say. I love my kids.
Well, that seems like a good enough segue as any to get into this movie, because there was a good portion there where I forgot what we were even here for. I was enjoying the stories, and I was into it. And I started wanting to think about the other movies, and I had to reel myself back in. So we are here talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is a movie that came out in the U.S. in May 5th of 2017. Tokyo got it a month before. Directed by James Gunn, came back for that. Budget, he made it in $200 million, and he got $863.8 million worldwide.
Crazy.
Definitely outgrossed its predecessor.
Yeah, that's right. Opening weekend, they nearly got paid back. $146 million in the opening weekend.
Right. That's right. That's a win for sure. It's interesting too that James Gunn is also the sole writer and director on this. He had full creative control. It's the first time we really got that.
I wonder if we've talked about this before in a previous. When Joss Whedon rewrote the Avengers, we talked about how the SAG required them to have multiple writers. But yeah, like James Gunn is credited as fully writing this.
Yeah,
and then being the full director.
And not only that, but he turned down studio notes, in a way that few other Marvel directors ever got the chance to do.
And that was a huge risk. Like the one thing that this movie, when you kind of go in and try to dig in and find out what was the controversy, what was the tea, what did they spill? Yeah. They're like, actually, there wasn't any, except there was a massive risk because it landed solely on James Gunn.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is also the film where Marvel started leaning harder on emotional payoffs. Yondu's death, is one of the most genuinely felt moments. It tackles this idea of fatherhood, like we've talked about.
Right.
Some of the origin story of this particular movie, because we deal a lot with Ego, the living planet, in this movie. That is its own comic book. September of 1966, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the dynamic duo, came up, and this actually came up in Thor issue 132. One of the more genuinely strange concepts in the Silver Age of Marvel, which is Ego is not a god, not an alien, not a creature. He's a sentient planet. So complete with a brain and a nervous system and an emotional life. In the comics, Ego was created by an unnamed cosmic being in one of the original cosmic entities. So I feel like they mentioned something about celestials.
He identifies himself in the movie as a celestial.
That's right. So that's a difference.
That's
not in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, later on, we find out more about the Celestials and the Eternals, and he doesn't look anything like them. So it is it's a twist of the story.
Yeah,
it
is.
It's not necessarily canon.
Maybe they didn't know. Yeah, it's there's some things in here that may not have been canon, because it's nice to say Celestial because you know it from the comics, but if you're not going to even, But to be fair, too, we only saw him as Kurt Russell because that was what he wanted to present himself to. Quill, but in the comics, he's not Quill's father. Quill's father is a man named Jason, spelled J,S-O-N, because apparently Jason's also an asshole. You know the type.
Yeah, that's right. Aaron. Jay Quellen. Is there a Jay Quellen in here? Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, Jay-son.
Gunn's reasoning for swapping Jason out. Jason is a generic alien king. Ego is a sentient planet who wants to consume the universe. The latter is a far better antagonist for a film about parenthood and identity.
Yeah, sure. Especially when we get into the ironic statement around ego as a word.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk about it later, but yeah, that's a big deal.
It's also worth mentioning, too, that Gunn's family is literally in the film. His parents play Weird Old Man and Weird Old Man's Mistress in the opening flashbacks to 1980 Missouri. His mother loved being credited as the mistress.
Yeah, I was going to ask, man, you could have made it Weird Old Man and his wife. And they were like, no, mistress, for sure.
be good.
I don't know where the accent came
I
from.
don't either. Well, I did say no, I didn't.
I guess
thought-
Missouri.
thought it-
brought that
yeah,
up.
Missouri, and that GA Missouri. That's in the movie though. That's
And
not
of course,
where they're
Sean Gunn does everything James Gunn does. But man, I really like that guy, Sean Gunn. You were talking about how the family members are all there, and it's your mom and dad, but then also Sean Gunn shows up in a lot of James Gunn stuff. Like he kind of gets an element in all of it.
Why
Man,
wouldn't you?
I know, and
He's
funny
an
enough-
actor. Why wouldn't he do it?
Yeah, no. What's funny about that is
Imagine having a brother that never puts you in any of his movies,
like,
and you're
what
an
the
actor,
fuck, dude?
You're like, why wouldn't you ever choose me?
like you literally, I read for the part and you gave it to somebody. I'll see you at Thanksgiving, motherfucker, and we're going to have to talk about this. Yeah, that's right. I love that.
Want to move into the pull list?
I really do.
Let's do it.
My very first one is the very first scene.
So is mine.
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Baby Groot running around. It's so well done.
Fun fact: Vin Diesel had to say "I am Groot" in 16 different languages, which has completely different. It's not the same line phonetically to say it that way.
Yo soy Groot.
That's probably Groot would probably stay the same in most of them because it's a made up word. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to have to
Me
do that.
llamo Groot.
I'm trying to think of the German one. That would be fun one to know. Like the mad, probably would sound so mad.
Sound really Nazi. That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
like, it's like Zeke Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know my favorite thing about this scene that you're talking about, and then I'll let you say your favorite things
Go
that you
ahead.
started it.
Go ahead, yeah.
Is the fact that the entire thing takes place out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
The whole actual action sequence is
Yes.
not the focus. It's actually Groot, and you're just seeing it from that
Yes.
perspective. That's my favorite thing about it.
From the very beginning, I'm trying to get these tunes together so that we can have this fight. It's actually not that important. Right. All right. And he
Yeah.
winks. And he's like, and the whole scene is actually Groot dancing to the music that Rocket's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then almost all but the very final portion of that scene is out of focus. Shit's going on. And I love it happens in the post-credit scene of Guardians 1, and then it happens again in the initial scene of Guardians 2, where Groot freezes.
Yeah.
Whenever Drax is looking at him.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. It's really cute. It's really well done. I love this scene. And then my kids still, again, these movies my kids quote all the time.
Right.
And my kids quote his hide is too thick on the outside. I must cut it from the inside. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, this hide is the same thickness from the inside. I know. It's so good. It's so good. Drax is one of those, again, like, you mentioned this in Guardians 1. He's funny, but he doesn't know he's being funny. It's not that he's making jokes. It's just his character is genuinely funny in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene.
I will say we're not into it yet, but they border going overboard with
That's
it.
true.
This,
They do.
They kind of make him like a cartoon. Like,
Yes.
in
Well,
this one.
I mean, even in this scene, they're like, why aren't you wearing the flight suit? It's like, my nipples get chafed. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my nipples are so sensitive. It's like, it's
Yeah.
so, yeah, right. The whole thing is.
I forgot about the first scene with them wanting to play music for the fight scene.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
right.
such a
It's
weird.
trying to-
It's like a meta thing because
trying to-
we're going to hear the music. You know,
That's right. That's right.
It's kind of funny.
It's a nod to the fourth. We talked about this, how you break the fourth wall or you nod to the fourth wall. That was a nod to the fourth wall. It's like, hey,
was.
we know that you're going to listen to this, so we're going to actually incorporate it in the story.
Exactly.
Do really, really love this fucking scene, man. The Rocket wink, and he's like, I can see you winking. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh man, was I doing it again with my left eye? Like it's, again, it's like that happens twice in the movie. Mm-hmm. This scene, you're doing guns now? Like, I thought swords were your thing, and I do guns. Like, we're fighting an interdimensional beast. I don't know. I just thought you should have talked about it if you were going to use a gun, not a sword.
Yeah.
And then she ends up using the sword.
My first pull would be, and I know this has got to be on your list, but the Mary Poppins reference.
Oh.
Just as a whole, he says like Mary Poppins. Is Mary Poppins cool? I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Hell yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, he's cool.
That's right. That's right. You do see, because in episode 1, Yondu is possibly a villain. Mm-hmm. There's some respect between pirates that's happening between him and Peter.
Right. But I don't ever really felt that dynamic between them. It's always been like Peter was subordinate to him.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel that like You get that more later.
Yeah.
But there's like in this movie, but not in the first one.
That's right. But yeah, even the nod back. He's like, "You look like Mary Poppins." Is it cool?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, he's cool. It's so good. Yeah. Moving forward from, or I guess moving back from that, because that's kind of towards the end of the movie. One of the pulls for me, and it has to do with the fatherhood moment where Peter is finding his dad, right? Like the episode, Guardians 1, we are introduced to his orphanage, to his being orphaned. Not orphanage, but his being orphaned. And mom is dead. And dad's nowhere to be found. One day he may come back to you. And the very end of the scene, very end of the movie, Yondu is like, well, I'm glad we didn't deliver him to his dad like we promised, because his dad's kind of a dick. Mm-hmm. Well, then his dad enters, if we don't know what's happening, his dad enters saving the day, destroys the Sovereign's remote ships, brings him to this beautiful planet, look at all this great stuff, plays catch with him. Like, he never had his dad. And a lot of, Madeleine L'Engle talks about, she used to say, I am every age I've ever been, to really discuss the reality that inner children, inner teenager, they exist inside of us. They're portions of us that didn't grow up yet. And Peter's got that little boy in him that really wants to play catch with his dad. Mm-hmm. And he gets that moment. And then he's like, by the way, you can create stuff. And he's like, hold on to your horses, because I'm going to create some weird shit.
Yeah.
He's all into it.
Yeah.
Man, it hits, if we talk about pull lists as being moments that hit scenes that make you feel something. Like that was, when I was 38, I reconnected with my biological father after nearly 30 years. And to have him, it was funny because I told him a story about my travels. Mm-hmm. We were in a public setting. I told him a story, and 15 minutes later, somebody else walked up and was like, "Oh, is this your boy?" And he's like, "Yeah." And let me tell you about the story. And he parroted. You think I'm a good storyteller? Motherfucker doesn't know me for 3 decades. Mm-hmm. Turns around and tells my story almost verbatim. Wow. But this is what my son did, and how proud I am of him. Flying a helicopter, doing this great things about being in this game reserve in South Africa. To have my dad proud of me in front of somebody else, like, what a gift. Yeah. And so this scene right here, man, really hits hard. That catch scene. Like, you're my son, Yeah. Big deal.
My next pull would be Rocket and Yondu in the cell.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
A quiet conversation between the film's two most cynical characters.
Yeah. What are you, some kind of professional asshole? That's such a good moment.
But about being scared of being known. Yeah. Like the most cynical people talking about that. I know what it's like to lose family, to run away because you were so terrified of losing them you couldn't bear to be close in the first place. Like, it's so crazy. And Bradley Cooper and Rooker have really never had more chemistry than in that moment. It was surprising how much it was. To me, it was something that when I was watching it, I was shocked at how heavy that conversation was, because I didn't remember that from the first time that I watched it.
Yeah. And it leads right into that really funny moment where they're trying to communicate to Groot about how to find the prototype Finn. Yeah. like he's limited to 3 words. I am Groot. And so we gotta it's so good.
Yeah. This is definitely the scene where I feel like before that moment anyway, where it stops being a comedy and becomes what the movie really is, which is this film about being abandoned and learning to let yourself be loved, which is such a surprising theme to be buried under all of these layers of different types of comedy, different types of sci-fi stuff going on, just all these things. And to find that at the core of the movie was a delightful surprise for me this last time I watched it, because I had forgotten about that part of the movie. I had forgotten how great that core idea is delivered in this movie. Yep. And I said a lot of shit about Guardians and James Gunn in the first movie, and a lot of that I will reel back because I really thought that I didn't like the whole series, and it was really just aspects of the first one, and then there's definitely some pretty big aspects of the third one I didn't like. The second one I think is my favorite.
Yeah. I would agree. The second Guardians movie is better than the first and better than the third. I mean, with all respect to the Rocket story, I really like the second movie. That the very next scene is one of my pulls, which is once Yondu does get out and he turns on the music and he tells Kraglin, the Sean Gunn character, to go get ready the third quadrant to release. And then he whistles and he kills every one of the mutineers. And he's like, and the music was come a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And it's such a great song. It's like
Amazing soundtrack.
just killing everybody. It's so good. Because we talked about this in Guardians 1, where the first time he's surrounded by I think it was by Ronan's like necro warriors or whatever, and he just sort of like whistles and like and kills them all really quickly. I think Gunn did a great job. The cinematography here is a really good job of kind of slowing that down just long enough to have a whole song around it. It was a really cool scene, really cool.
It was
Especially
a really good scene.
since, and this will come up in my spark, especially since you've just watched all of those guys turn against him, but not just turn against him. They've also executed everyone that was still loyal to him in the mutiny by spacing them, by putting them out into space.
Right.
And so they deserve it. It's a big deal. They are the enemy at this point. They were the crew at the beginning of the episode. They are the enemy now.
Yep.
And so the way that he just sort of dominates, and you said this in episode 1, Yondu was one of the original Guardians. He was like Peter Quill wasn't an original Guardian. Yondu was.
Yep.
And so you get to see him as on the hero's side of the game here.
It's true.
Doing a really good job. And you can see him as something pretty powerful. So it was really cool scene.
Yeah. My next pull is actually one I know for a fact is on your list. There's no doubt in my mind. Yondu's death and, of course, the line, he may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah.
I watched that scene this past time and appreciated it so much more because I always thought it was a little cheesy the way he said it in that, because I think it's because my brain has a hard time trying to reconcile the fact that there's an alien with a southern accent anyway. Sure. So it's just hard, and it reminds me a little too much of home in that way. I'm like, there's no way you would have this
He's
accent.
From Georgia?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, what's happening? Yeah. And so I feel like that's hard to get past. But if I just let that go, I appreciate the line because it's a funny line that people say all the time, and they mean it, but it's always meant, I feel like it's always said in a context of like making a heavy thing light.
Yeah.
And they do that in this movie, in this moment as well, but also communicating this thing that we've known this whole time since the first movie. Since the moment he says, I didn't take him back because he was a dick, you then immediately knew like this is the real father. This is the one who's raised him. Yeah. And so you already have this dynamic that's going on there. And then to then get that payoff in this scene where he says it to him and has that realization that it's a great scene.
Oh yeah. I mean, as my own story, having a father that wasn't available and going back and learning that wasn't all his fault.
Yeah.
But also having a stepdad who was doing his best, who was also pretty abusive. Yeah. And yet, I don't know that I've told you this, but so I haven't spoken to my stepdad, the guy that I called Dad.
Right.
I haven't really spoken to him in about 12 years since the birth of my niece, his daughter, my half-sister's second child. Just about 6 months ago, he found out he has another kid that he didn't know about.
Wow.
And people were asking him, like, hey, did you know you had this kid? And he goes, I raised Josh and he wasn't my kid. You think I would have left my actual biological kid out there?
Right.
And so I heard that story in passing from my half-brother. But then my stepdad, reached out to me on Facebook and was like, hey, I heard you in Texas, and I just want to let you know that next time you're in town, I'd like to see you.
Right.
He hasn't reached out to me in more than a decade. To have somebody who, again, tried his best, fucked it up, but also was trying his best. And to be able to extend some kind of grace to that guy. And to look at this story where he's, you see the panic, the desperation on Peter's face, knowing that Yondu is sacrificing himself for him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's not, I think that this scene is a very similar scene. It's that classic, like, I'm saving you and sacrificing myself scenario. Yeah. You get that with on Vormir.
Yeah, Vormir with Natasha and Hawkeye.
Exactly. And so, but I feel like this scene for this movie lands heavier than the other one does.
I agree.
As much as it was a big moment and we didn't want to see her die, but by the time it was happening, I remember in my brain thinking, this makes sense. Like,
Sure.
one of them needs to die.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for Hawkeye to die yet, so I was okay with her dying at that point of the story. But you see it, in different places. But for this one, like, you feel it's more visceral.
Yeah.
With Peter's reaction to it.
And I think the reason why is that Natasha and Clint, though they are distorted characters, they are clearly on the hero's side the whole time.
Right.
Whereas with Yondu, you have watched him evolve in the course of this movie.
Right. Makes you more emotionally invested.
Yeah, in the beginning, he was like, we're going to go kill Quill, and then, of course, he finds Quill, and then he's not going to kill Quill, and then he gets the mutiny and all that. He's switching sides and growing and acknowledging, and then, gosh, if you watch this, again, I watched this movie again for the purposes of this episode after having watched the holiday special, where you realize that he gave Quill his first real Christmas present.
Right.
And it was the two guns that you see him carry throughout the entire series. This is so in Guardians 1, he's an anti-hero, maybe a villain, we don't really know. He's an entity, but we don't know what to expect of him. By the end of Guardians 2, he's clearly the father, or the daddy, as it were. And man, this death is one of the harder deaths we experience. Even the scene directly before that where Groot's like, "I am Groot," and he says, "Welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy."
Yeah.
Only he didn't say frickin'.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're in. You're one of us. Man, I ain't done nothing I ain't done nothing right my whole life, rat. You got to give this to me.
Yeah.
Fucking shit,
so good.
dude. Oh man, that ate me up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of have two. I want to talk, because we're talking about this scene already, I just want to mention it, the whole funeral. Got to talk about the funeral because we're leading right into that.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure that's on your list as well.
Yeah.
Because what a scene. Like, that was the first time in my MCU experience thus far that I felt enough emotion to tear up in an MCU movie.
Oh, not just tear up for me, man. There's a lot playing here. It's like Rufio and Hook and Jean Valjean and Les Mis showed up in space.
Yeah.
It is, it's a pirate. It's a vagabond, a group of pirates who have a code. You're not one of us. You don't belong.
Right.
You don't exist. As far as we know, you're in exile. In fact, it tore me up to exile you. But the fires of O'Gord are never gonna be launched over your grave. And I will tell you, yes, the explosions and the Sean fucking Gunn sold this for me.
Yeah.
When he starts screaming out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we talk about this about every third episode. I'm a military veteran.
Yep.
I did not have family in the way that people might define family.
Right.
Mother, father, brother, sister. That was all broken for me. It was broken pretty early, and it was broken repeatedly. Traumatized.
Yeah.
But man, when I put on the goddamn uniform, I had a family. We all knew each other's last name. We knew exactly where we all sat because of our rank and power.
Sure.
We knew who was in charge. We knew what we were doing. We found out later that we were probably being lied to, but it didn't matter in the moment. In the moment, we were protecting each other.
We still knew who each other were, yeah.
And we knew why we were there, because we were there for the other. And man, we had man overboard drills. We had a guy die on the ship from a sort of what would be equivalent of an industrial accident. It was a wreck of two machines that happened on the flight deck. We had wounded planes come in after they'd been shot up, and we had to catch these pilots coming in at full speed. We had these moments where it's like, we're in this together, y'all. And then to get exiled, you don't belong.
Yeah.
But then to live life so well, to make an ultimate amends, to have them show up.
Yeah.
And be like, it's a Ravager funeral. Dude,
And
I'm getting chills talking about it right now.
it wasn't even a plot line that I was super aware of, because you don't really find out to the end that he wasn't even a part of the Ravagers, that he hadn't been for a really long time. And there was that interesting aspect of that like it brought such a weight to that scene.
Yes.
Because it's cool that they showed up. It would have been cool if they showed up anyway and we didn't ever have that plot line, that subplot. But the fact that they threw it in there, it was the right direction to go, I think.
It also explained to me the mutiny.
Right.
Because they're not Ravagers. They're wearing Ravager garb, but they're not Ravagers.
Right.
They are, in fact, only pirates. They're only scallywags. And it's because it's the only people that Yondu can get around him because he's been exiled.
My last pull is something that I think we can just collectively talk about. It's the 5 post-credit scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to find a place to put this in the episode. I think this is a great place to put it.
Yep.
I thought it worked. It had a high risk not to work, but I think it did work.
That's right. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You get Adam Warlock, Kraglin figuring out the arrow. You get to look at Teenage Groot, the original Ravagers, and then the one I think is the most important is the last one, which is Stan Lee is a Watcher.
Right.
Right.
The way for them to make all of his moments showing up makes sense. It's just amazing.
That's right. Yeah.
They
make his cameos canon.
Right.
By making him a Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that, and I love the teenage scene. The Ravager scene, we didn't really talk about this, but there was supposed to be a spinoff of the Ravagers. It
would have been great. Yeah.
Before he got fired. And to think about Michelle Yeoh being in that. And of course, she goes on to win an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once, one of my all-time favorite movies ever.
You know, I haven't seen it. You're the second person in 3 days.
Can I watch it with you?
I would love to.
Would you let me do that? I love sharing my favorite things with people and experiencing it with them for their first time.
It would be an honor to watch that movie with you.
It's maybe it's autistic of me to do that. I
don't care. I want to watch it with you now.
Good.
I won't watch it until we can watch it together.
Yeah, it's not. Madison didn't like it, so it's like you can have polar opposites. I still have not forgiven her for not liking it. But we're working on it.
So you come at marriage counseling 15 years, and also you don't like Everything Everywhere Always.
You didn't even get the name right. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, I thought that that's the only movie that I know of that's ever done 5 post credits and mid credit scenes.
Yeah, that's right.
We've had probably 3 a few times at this point, but usually, and we definitely always I think it's the model now is to get 2, one mid credits, one post. And the mid credits actually leads into that's the real stinger. The post credits is just bonus material.
And this is something that that we've talked about before. In Avengers 1, we got the very first time that a mid or end credit scene did nothing other than tease the audience. And that was the shawarma scene.
Yeah.
Kraglin the Arrow, Teenage Groot, and the Ravagers, even though there was supposed to be a spin-off scene, and then Stan Lee and the Watcher, as a Watcher, none of those were going to advance the story at all. Adam Warlock a little, and of course it comes up in Guardians 3.
Yeah, that's the stinger, was the Warlock for sure.
But the other ones were purely for, hey, this is for the fans.
Yeah.
And for us, we think it's funny, we're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Spark and Fizzle. Let's get into this. What's your first part?
Peter, second scene. Peter flirting with Aisha, the head of the Sovereign, and she's like, she's talking about how she's meta narrating, which is, I'm just going to come up in the Fizzle. I hate it. But she's talking about how they genetically design. And he's like, well, I kind of like to do it the old fashioned way. And she's like, you're going to need to educate me in the archaic ways of your ancestors. And he's like, of course, for research. And then Gamora's looking at him and he's like, that would be disgusting. It's so good. And then Nebula comes out and he's like, yay, family reunion. I love his rhythm.
Yeah,
both with Aisha and with Gamora, and kind of, it's a Chris Pratt / Star-Lord just staple to have him be irreverent.
Yeah,
to be a pirate, to be irreverent in a time that he really shouldn't be. He's standing in front of Aisha, the head of the Sovereign, and he's fucking off. I love it.
I actually very much enjoyed Kurt Russell's casting for this.
Yes,
I think that was for sure the platonic ideal of a movie star, dropped into a film that needs both warmth and kind of menace. I think he did. I think he pulls off both sides of it. I think he also is a part of my Fizzle if I have to if I had to say. I think because there's aspects of his character that were both done really well and then done kind of, in my opinion, kind of poorly. And so there was things, he was my probably least favorite part of the whole movie, but only because the movie had a lot of good in it this time.
That's right.
And that's something we've been talking about.
Yeah.
There's a lot to appreciate in this movie, and it was really so far beyond his character. His character is appropriately in the, like, to me, almost that it felt like in the third act, it almost feels like it's unnatural to have that much focus on him. You know what I mean? When they're fighting him, and I'm like, do I even care about this anymore? I don't know if I care about him being bad.
Yeah, they give you the reason why you're supposed to care about it by these little cut scenes to the other planets where he's starting to grow.
Right.
But yeah, if you don't keep that in mind,
and that's so apart from humanity.
that's right.
It's hard to relate to that. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. If you don't keep that in mind, then it's easy to be like, why don't you guys just leave the planet and leave them fuck alone, like, whatever. But it's because there's this whole like galactic thing going on where he's having the expansion or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
That's fair. My next spark is actually a dick joke. It's where they're moving into the quantum asteroid field.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
and they're like, he's like switching back who has control. And Gamora's like, if you guys would just use your heads instead of what's between your legs, we could actually get through this thing. And Peter looks over and he goes, I'll tell you what, if what's between my legs had a hand, it would be the greatest pilot in the galaxy. And it's so funny. And what's funny about it is the motion. So the fact that he puts his hand up like this, I was like, dude, nailed it. It's so such a good bit.
Yeah.
Again, I guess the big spark for me is that I really did appreciate, yes, there are moments where it feels like it's overdone, but for the most part, the humor in this movie landed for me. I really enjoyed it.
I think that also shows probably Gunn's full creative control. You know, you can really feel the difference. This is a director's film. You can tell that he made it for himself. It wasn't a committee's film. He was able to do what he wanted to do, and for that I will applaud him. I said a lot of mean things about him in The Last Guardian, and I think I'm still a little bitter about him doing what he's done to DC. That's a whole different conversation, but. I think for this movie, it really worked, and I was able to get past that and my negative feelings about his work in general, and I felt like this movie really kind of, you can see that difference a lot, and that's another way of it. My next spark is really just Awesome Mix Volume 2. We mentioned it a little in the first movie, but this movie, I felt like the soundtrack was better. It was so much better.
Yep.
And even, and I don't know if that's also, I was kind of pre-programmed to want to like it, knowing that there was going to be a good mix because we had such a good mix on the first movie. If that's the expectation going into this movie, then of course it's going to be.
But again, we talk a lot about throughput, things that tie one story to the next. And the Awesome Mix does that in this series in a way that I think is just really valuable. And you're right, it was expensive for them to put that mix together, to get the rights for those songs. It was certainly an artist expectation, an audience expectation. We were expecting it. But yeah, I think they did a good job compiling yet another great mix. The music was really good and
very well placed. Mr. Blue Sky and the scene going with Yondu and the needle. Fleetwood Mac's The Chain, Cat Stevens' Father and Son, George Harrison's My Sweet Lord. Like, there's so many great songs that were so well placed, and so it was just it was perfect. I was a huge fan. Yeah,
it's funny if you spend time thinking about each song and where it's placed. It really did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
One of the places where I thought this went really well, not in this movie, was in Thor Ragnarok with the use of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. I think it was really great. And my understanding is that they had to pay I think it was $1 million in royalties just to use it in those 2 clips.
Wow.
Which is a lot of money. But that song is written for a Norse god. It's perfect. The fact that they got in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they got an entire playlist together to exactly mirror, to tell the story. You could almost listen to the soundtrack and know what's going to happen.
Right. And that's what a good soundtrack does.
That's right. Yep.
Next spark?
The Drax and Mantis relationship.
Yep.
It's like two kids playing with each other. Like
Yeah.
where she's like, "Can I pet your puppy?" And he's like, "Yes, of course you can." And, you know, and it's like it's Rocket. And,
Yeah.
and so she reaches over to pet him, and he turns the body. He's like, "Ha, that's a practical joke." And then when she's like, he experiences sexual love for her, and he's like, "You must be so embarrassed." It is a little bit on the almost to the slapstick side, almost to the absurd side.
Yeah.
But when you think of them as a race of beings that, for Drax, a race of beings that do not understand metaphor, they don't know they're being funny because they're just being literal. And Mantis, who has been isolated from the rest of the galaxy, has never had to develop socially because the only other relationship they had was with their father, Ego, who was also treated as a pet and a slave. So there's a real sense that like they are children. And they are working with each other, and they are learning off of each other. You know, he's like, "No, you're repulsive." You know, like, and it's just anyway. I thought that was a healthy little bit of comedic relief, a little bit of story advancing, but also just kind of a lot of fun. I really liked it.
I think that's all for my sparks. Do you want to move to fizzles?
No, because I have a few more.
Oh, okay. Hit me a little bit.
So the next one, move through these a little bit quickly. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I think you've already mentioned it, but
We
man,
did, yeah.
that just so good for me. This one made me feel something, but it wasn't in a like happy way. In the final fight sequence, right when it feels like everybody's going to lose, and so the planet is overtaking every. There's this one moment, I feel like I'm getting emotional on this right now, but there's this one moment where it really begins to press in on baby Groot, and they use an actual baby's cry.
Yeah.
And it almost takes me out of the story because Groot is a twig.
Right.
Up until this moment where you're like, oh, he's a baby. Oh my gosh, we need to protect him. And it all rides on him, by the way. He's carrying and man, that gets in. This one's kind of funny for me, but also there's some profoundness to this when Drax is asking about Ego's penis. And he's like, how would a planet have mated with your mother? He would crush her. And he's like, dude, I don't want to think about my parents mating. And he's like, why not? My father would tell the story of impregnating my mother every winter solstice.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my gosh, it's disgusting. I was like, no, it was beautiful. and what I think about that is two things. One, funny. It's good comedy. Sure. But two, it also highlights that there are cultures who just because you and I happen to grow up in evangelical Christian purity culture doesn't mean we need to have the same shame around people's sex practices.
Right.
Particularly when it has to do with procreation and creating the next generation, which is in fact a fucking beautiful thing.
Right.
And yet we're like, don't talk about that. Especially don't talk about my mom having sex. Like, dude, how the fuck do you think you got here?
Yeah.
Like, we need to talk about the fact that it happened at least once.
Yeah.
Right? Probably more than that. Hopefully more than that. And so, like, that whole moment is both funny and also kind of profound. I almost, when I watch that with my kids, I'm waiting for the moment where they go, ew, and I go, ew.
Yeah.
Like, your mom and I aren't even married anymore, and I'm still grateful I had sex with her because look at you. You know what I mean? Like, it's great.
I hope that's how you say it.
That's exactly what I'm going to say in front of their mom.
Yeah.
Because I have no shame around that. I'm grateful for my kids, and there was only one way to make that happen.
It's true.
Thanks, honey. That was mean. The final spark for me, again, as not just a military member, but as a sailor, who really had an affinity for like this pirate culture.
Yeah.
The mutiny scene. Man, that was really rough for me. You see fucking Taserface is trying to lead this mutiny.
Yeah.
You see that got sparked accidentally by Kraglin. Like, he's the first one that actually is willing to stand up just because he actually cares. And that sparks the mutiny. And then you see the death of all the loyalists. And you see Kraglin get real quiet and step back. And then, he comes forward and he's like, they killed all my friends. And it reminds you that of a couple of things. One, this was true during the golden age of pirates, but it also would be true if you were out to space. Not out to sea, but out to space.
Yeah.
Space is very cold, and anything can happen. And whoever's left is the one who's going to tell the story. So a mutiny is very possible. and very dangerous. The final one where they're dragging the guy and he's like, "Captain, please," and he's pleading with the captain to step up, and of course Yondu can't and won't. The instant death of being spaced to instantaneously lose all oxygen and freeze to death.
Yeah.
And then also the dark laughs of the mutineers, like as they're waving goodbye to him. That whole scene was both very dark and very gritty and also very emotional for me. Man, it just don't miss that moment. Fizzle.
Well, on that note,
You hated the mutiny scene.
no, the pacing in the middle act was just so slow. I watch these movies a lot when I'm going to bed at night, just because Madison is not going to want to watch it with me again. And I've done this before where I just go through them all at night, and that it lost me like 3 times.
Oh, really?
It like this movie was a little disjointed for me this time, because I kept having to watch it over the course of like 2 or 3 nights, because I would get to the same like scene in like the whole second act, which I guess one of my favorite scenes is in the second act, which is the cell scene, but it was easy to miss because it was so slow. It's like you were climbing, we're trucking along. This feels like a good like ascent as we're taking off, and then we hit that like dead plateau.
Yeah, sure.
You know, that's where I take a nap in the flight.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, and then it kind of picks up at the end. But yeah, I felt like the pacing in the middle act had the opportunity or the potential to kind of ruin the overall experience because it was just felt so flat.
Yeah. For me, I'll say this every time. When somebody over meta narrates, it
Right.
bothers me.
Yeah.
And so Aisha does it in the very beginning when she's telling everybody what the sovereign are. That's for the audience. The people who she's talking to just got hired by the sovereign to do the first scene of the movie. They know who they are. And so this whole like, we do this and this is who we are. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me. That's fine. But it does. It's like, I hate it. I hate meta narration.
Yeah. The Sovereign as the antagonists.
Oh yeah, you know,
I felt a little silly. I mean, I did enjoy watching all of their little ships explode like 3 times in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
That was pretty funny.
And also the way they shame each other whenever they lose. And
Yeah.
it's like it literally is like a bunch of children playing video games with each other.
like all in the arcade or something.
Yeah. That actually is kind of
Or the Sovereign as antagonists in this movie, I feel like they were just kind of a placeholder villain.
Oh.
Other outside of that, so you know, they provide some funny moments and like they have this kind of through line in the movie, but I just felt like they were such a secondary. We were obviously being set up the whole movie to believe that Ego was going to become the villain, and so for us to continually have to deal with them, they felt just like annoying.
Yes.
And that they weren't actually that big of a threat, and I actually feel like that might have damaged or hurt the way we view them in the third one.
Yeah,
with
sure.
Warlock.
Yeah, they're like heel biters. It's like this.
Yes.
There's this like
Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there's this moment where like there's a fucking cosmic being and the
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy fighting, and like why are they here?
Yeah, why are we still doing this? Go home.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. You're right. I get it that you're mad, but it's like we'll give you the fucking batteries back.
Yeah, it's
You know
fine.
what I mean? Like
Give
it's
them
like
back.
well, whatever.
Yeah, and
so-
all of that, and they were that mad over some batteries. Like that was everything about them was so trivial, and so like, why am I supposed to believe that this is a thing that should be happening in this movie?
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It was silly.
That's right. For me, my fizzle, and this is my last one, is I feel, and I said this in Guardians 1 with Nebula. I think in this one with Rocket, there was a little overdone emotion. Now, Rocket, we know he's tortured and he's torn up inside. But like I've known avoidance who push people away to prevent themselves from getting abandoned. I've known several of them. I've dated a couple of them. It's great for an anxious attachment style to find an avoidant.
Right.
It's really fun. It's very toxic.
Yeah.
It feels really good for
Sure.
a little while. But in my experience, which is limited, but it's mine, they don't push you away aggressively. They push you away through coldness, distance, and it's something more subtle.
Right.
And so just the overt fuck off energy that comes out from Rocket, I'm just not sure where it came from.
Right.
And I don't think that the audience is at least me as an audience member, was brought into that early enough in the movie. And so just sort of like in the beginning, he's being an asshole, and he's an asshole until the very end.
Yeah.
And just like, why? And there's maybe there's a gutter moment there, like they had a fight 5 minutes before the opening curtain or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like he's just a dick, and you don't know why.
It's true. Yeah, they do try to like accelerate his arc, knowing that we're going to get the payoff in the third movie.
Sure.
And so I guess that's really what it is. And so in many ways, this second movie did probably accomplish what it was trying to do, which is being a good second movie. But also this movie was really setting up the third. At least that's the way it looked by the time the third was made. So, yeah.
Sure. Moving into the gutter?
Let's move into the gutter.
Let's move into the gutter.
My first gutter moment actually kind of goes with what you were just saying, which is this idea of Rocket and the cost of hardness. Rocket spends most of the film being deliberately unlikable. He steals from people who didn't deserve it. He alienates the team. He pushes Quill away. And we do see a lot of that in this idea too, that it's like he goes after, he likes being mischievous. He likes breaking the rules. He likes stealing. Like he very much likes stealing. They make that very apparent in this movie. And so that, the scene with Yondu in the cell reveals why, of course. Rocket sees what he sees. He sees what he is in Yondu, abandoned, made cruel by abandonment, and terrified of being known. His arc in Volume 2 sets up Volume 3's deeper Rocket excavation, but it already starts here. The film treats Rocket's nihilism as a symptom, not a character flaw.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting because, we now know that he's not just like this because he wants to be or because that's just how he is. Like, there's trauma there and there's a reason why.
That's right.
And we're now considering that about a raccoon. Like it's honestly a crazy cool mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we don't, the person that you know right now that is the worst motherfucker they didn't start that way.
Right.
And that is important to remember. That's right. It doesn't mean that we excuse behavior or that we allow continued trauma. Even in here, like all the characters confront him on that. So it's not like we permit abusive behavior, but it's also that we have enough empathy to go, man, I wonder why this happened.
Yeah.
And of course we get the payoff in Guardians 3. Sure. Yeah, that's good. My first gutter moment is the theme of dancing. Drax says Gamora's not a dancer and you are, Quill, and then Gamora dances. And then actually if you fast forward into the holiday special, everyone dances except for Drax, and then if you go into Guardians 3, Drax dances. There is wonder, which is part of what we're here for.
Right.
And the release of inhibitions that comes when traumatized people deal with their pain. So when Drax rescues the little girls because he lost Ovette and his daughter, he's able to dance again.
Yeah.
Whenever Gamora finds love in a and it's not just what does he call it? Your pelvic sorcery.
Yeah.
Is what she calls it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when she actually finds real love, she can dance. And also Peter, who has dealt with a lot of his pain to the point where he's created cynicism, dances the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a connection between freedom of motion in the body and actually processing trauma. And you even get to see it in the holiday special, Guardians, whenever you've got, or maybe it's the beginning of Guardians 3, where you've got Rocket singing Creep.
Yeah.
And he's like walking around singing Creep, and he's like enjoying the song. It's really good, man. And it's a metaphor for who we are. Like when we don't feel like we can process trauma, we can't move freely. But once we've been able to release some of that, man, suddenly we just get less inhibited. It's really good.
Also, why did we skip a decade in the song soundtrack? That's what I heard when you said that. You said Creep, and I was like, we did 60s, we did 70s, no 80s, went to 90s. That's an odd thing. There was some good. Can you imagine an 80s? I mean, we got Ragnarok, and that felt very 80s, but they didn't use any 80s themes.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
My next gutter moment is kind of death being earned in this movie and not feeling cheap. I think about this in comparison to, say, Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. It wasn't earned. We got there too quickly. That story arc didn't make sense for us to care.
Yeah.
But with this, we get a very different experience when they do finally kill off a major character, and then the funeral and everything. I think that when you think about this idea that like they earned that moment, this is one of the first times we see that in the MCU, because We get that a lot later in the stories, and of course in Endgame. But of course they have a lot of not collateral. What's the word I'm thinking of? They have a lot more to work with to make that happen. They can piggyback off of everybody else's work to make those moments happen.
Yeah.
It's just more at that point a matter of doing it masterfully, right? And so, but for them to be telling us a story that by the end of this 2-hour movie or however long it is, that we actually care about these characters, and especially for me, like I cared about these characters in this movie, but in a way that I didn't really expect to this last time I watched it, because the first time I was not into the first movie. So like I didn't really care about the characters. But then by the time I start this movie to the end, I care very deeply about those characters. I feel like you do feel this more genuine, earned death.
So did you see the movie Gangs of New York?
No.
So DiCaprio, Liam Neeson, and Daniel Day-Lewis play in it.
That's right.
I think actually the woman is Cameron Diaz. I can't remember.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But there's a fantastic moment where, and I won't dive into the whole story, but DiCaprio attempts to assassinate Daniel Day-Lewis's character, the butcher, and they catch him. It fails, and they catch him, and they bring him before the butcher. And Daniel Day-Lewis says the words, "He hasn't earned a death by me yet." Right? Like it's like I'm worth way more than that. The people I kill are worth more to die.
Ooh, that it makes it kind of meta, because if you think about us as being those people and saying that they haven't earned their death from me yet,
yeah, that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
That when somebody died, this happened. It was stupid. Actually, funny enough, it's got Kurt Russell in it. There was a movie. I can't remember the name of it. That's not Point Break. It's shit. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell play in an airplane movie.
Okay. Yeah.
And Seagal dies in scene 1, and you're like, that's Steven fucking Seagal. Like, don't get me wrong. In 2026, who cares?
Right.
But in the 90s, Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Right. And he dies way early on this plane hijacking movie. It's before Air Force One, but it's another plane hijacking movie. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, and yeah, you don't care.
Yeah.
You're just shockingly why did we kill that guy?
Yeah.
One, why did you pay him for 15 minutes of video time? Right?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? And same thing. You're talking about Quicksilver. We didn't, aside from a plot vehicle to make Wanda mad or sad, you really don't have any connection to that character. So much so that they didn't bring him back in WandaVision. They brought back the other guy. You know what I mean? It's who cares? We can bring back the other dude.
Right.
And actually, this is more fun, owing to the Fox universe, rather than keeping continuity.
Right.
But yeah, the idea that Yondu's death, and this is going to end up being a fizzle, I imagine, for you in Guardians 3, the lack of Quill's death.
Yeah.
He earned a death, and instead we
gotta save it for 3.
I know.
We gotta save it. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to bitch about it, like I said in the last episode, for at least 20 minutes. It's going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's good. And we're going to let that happen.
It ruins it.
Yeah, but this idea that of all the deaths that we come across in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly the ones that feel permanent, Yondu's is one of the most profound. Both because of how he dies and what happens after his death and for whom he dies.
Right.
Man, and the story to get him there, that was a good death.
Yeah,
It was a Viking death. It was good.
It was. Yeah,
it was really good. My next gutter moment is, there's an irony in the fact that the enemy's name is Ego.
Right. Of course.
And they get a kind of freedom by defeating Ego, which is what is Ego? The character. Also, what is Ego in real life?
Yeah.
Self-protecting, self-justifying, universal force that's really just narcissistic falsity parading around as an angel from space. It's the best possible thing, but we find out it's a shadow and a projection. It's not really a thing. Even Quill's decision to kill Ego, he's saying, if you kill me, Peter, you'll lose the light within. You'll just be human. He's choosing family of choice over his own isolated, alone greatness. He's choosing a quieter, healthier, communal, great life with a family by killing his ego. Man, what a gift. What an actual like deep gutter moment there.
For sure. And this is kind of taking it beyond just the gutter moment too, but I meant to say this earlier during the Spark and Fizzle. It was one of the Fizzles I was trying to remember. This idea of, I'm trying to remember what Ego was manipulating Quill about. What was he wanting him to do in his plan? Take his power? Take it from him.
Well, he wanted to know that one of his children could use the power.
Right.
And then he was initially going to say, let's do this together. I just need your power. But then whenever he finds out about the tumor and all of that, he's like, I'm just going to turn you into a battery. I'm going to take your power.
That's what it was.
And he's like, maybe 1,000 years as a battery will give you some perspective or whatever. Yeah, but that's but yeah. So anyway, that
interesting. Yeah, so that entire story and plot line was kind of silly to me.
Really?
As much as we're talking about things being earned, they didn't earn for me to care that much about him.
Yeah,
and for him to ego, and for him to turn the way that he did on Quill, but also like Quill buying into it for I was talking about the second act and how it was like part of the second act for me that was so slow was that scene. Yeah. And that whole him getting to have this moment with his father, because it felt fake and I think it was supposed to feel fake. And therefore it's like, and so we're told the whole movie not to trust him. We just don't know why. And I felt like the actual payoff was not much of one. I was like, this was kind of silly. Like everything else going on, the Yondu thing was way heavier, and luckily that's what we're left with in the end of the movie, which is that feeling and about Yondu. But when you really think about it, I feel like it's easy to kind of glaze over that fact that like Ego's actual role in this and how he moved the plot forward was actually kind of silly and didn't make any sense.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that leads me to my final gutter moment, which is the role of family being a family of choice versus a family of origin. They actually did a really good job of making us not really give a shit about his actual father.
It's true. Yeah, maybe that was intentional.
With the exception of, oh man, now we've just become the big bad because we are 6 creatures fighting a planet. And that got bigger. It got larger than life very quickly.
It did.
But yeah, you also have the role of all of the characters have to deal with their own versions of family. You got Gamora and Nebula. You got Peter in his position with the Guardians. You've got Rocket position with the Guardians. Peter and Rocket. You've got Groot, right, being the baby who saves everybody, but is still just a baby.
Right.
You know, you've got Drax, who's got to try to figure out if he's going to grow up and be an adult or if he's going to continue this sort of childlike experience with Mantis. Mantis going like, hey, I actually need to do what's right here, and I didn't even know what was right because I've only ever lived in this one reality.
Yeah.
All of that with them choosing each other in the end to the destruction of Ego. That was all like really powerful thought process in the production of this film, I thought.
Yeah, that's true. You just kind of just ruined my entire last point. It was such a great... it was a great rebuttal, actually.
I was not disagreeing with you. I was just saying it's just part of my gutter there is...
But that's actually an interesting... it's an interesting perspective that I do appreciate more, so it is an interesting way to look at it. Can you imagine if we ever did a series on the Fast and the Furious movies, how many times we'd have to talk about that theme of chosen family?
Well, it's all about family.
It's all about family.
That's right. And we would I would every episode say 1/4 mile at a time.
Why?
Because in the very first episode, he's like, I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
It's a kind of a fun way to jump to that world when Vin Diesel is Groot. So it connects.
Can we go ahead and for me, I have a fizzle I haven't talked about. I may have talked about it in episode 1. You need this guy to say 3 words.
Yeah.
And Rocket is already a fully animated A-list actor. I think you wasted money on Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I think you could have literally had anybody do that. And the fact that it was actually Vin Diesel doing that over and over again.
I know.
I'm just like...
This is a crazy role.
In
the grand scheme of things. Like,
that's
how
right.
do the rest of the MCU characters or actors feel about him? Because or
how did he feel? Like,
feel for him, really?
I guess I'm getting paid a lot of money to be like, I am Groot.
Yeah.
and to
I mean,
keep doing it.
to his defense, he does actually exhibit, especially by the third movie, immense emotional expression in those
Totally.
3 words. But could anybody do that? Probably not. So just in his defense, I will give him that.
Though I think there are many who could for less. But yeah.
You're probably not wrong.
And I'm not. And again, I respect.
I'd give it a shot.
Well, you should try it right now.
I am Groot.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Was
Yeah, that's right. You would have charged so much less than Diesel did.
I would have.
Yeah, that's right. You're like,
You're giving him what?
Oh my gosh!
I got you. Let's go here.
So when we talk about the film's legacy, one of the things that this really sets tone for in the MCU is up to this point, except for Scott Lang and Cassie, we haven't really played in generations, but it's coming.
Yeah.
So really phase 1 and 2 are the actors, the superheroes and the team. Mm-hmm. It's Iron Man or the Avengers.
Yeah.
But then really into phase 3, we start seeing Scott and Cassie, Hawkeye and his family, then Hawkeye and Kate Bishop,
Right.
the Black Widow's family, Tony and Morgan, Tony and Howard, Gore and his daughter, Peter and May. Like, suddenly family is becoming very fucking important.
Right.
And this really is that moment where it's like, and some of that from a storytelling and a cinema and time perspective is on purpose, because these actors are aging. We need to pass the torch. But some of it is also really developing breadth and depth to these characters. They're not just a guy in an iron suit. It's a guy who's going to be a father and a husband and a son, right, Tony? Mm-hmm. It's not just Hawkeye, the guy who's got really great vision. It's the family man, right? It's going to come up in Civil War and then continue all the way through the decimation, and then when Kate Bishop comes in as the new Hawkeye. And that really, we're asking ourselves in this movie, what is family? And then we start seeing examples of family in almost every title moving after this one.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Volume 2 is the film, I think, where MCU proved it could do genuine emotional weight, not just spectacle.
Right.
And Yondu's death is the gold standard for character payoff in this franchise that moves forward, and we start seeing a lot more weight being thrown around. It's also the film that established James Gunn as one of the few MCU directors with real authorial signature, alongside Taika Waititi, Ryan Coogler, and the Russos, of course. The Guardians films feel like Gunn films, and I think that's something that it didn't just feel like a Marvel film, and we start seeing them allow for a lot more of that in the future.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And Awesome Mix Volume 2 became the second platinum-selling MCU soundtrack.
Right.
I would imagine the first one was probably Volume
Awesome
1.
Mix 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also marks the start of Gunn's complicated relationship with Disney. The success here gave him the leverage to fight for Volume 3 after his firing. Without Volume 2's $863 million, that public reinstatement campaign may not have worked.
Sure. Yeah. That's right.
All right, so the stinger, next episode, we are getting to finally, I'm so happy, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm so happy that we get to do this in this, because this is my first time watching them all the way through with the Spider-Man movies, because we haven't had them on Disney. And
That's right.
I was not going to go after it on Sony's side of things. And so, because I don't support that, I want them to all be at home together.
That's right.
And
Come home, guys.
Yeah, and the fact that they finally are, and that we also have Sony Spider-Man on there. It's great.
It's great.
Whole other series we could do. But this, I'm so happy we're finally being able to do it in this timeline and all together. And what a great film.
Yeah.
I love Homecoming.
Yeah, once we get there, we're going to talk a lot about the death of Peter Parker and the birth of Spider-Man. There's a very particular scene. We're going to actually call out another podcaster in this. I mean, he just really dove in deeply into a number of metaphors, both religious and sacred, where you see the combination of burial and water. And there's that one scene where a vulture has covered him in concrete, and the water is coming up. He's literally pouring off his face, and he's like, "Come on, Peter. Come on, Peter." And he's like, "Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, Spider." And he, oh my gosh, dude, I don't want to spoil it, but it is an important moment, not just in the life of Tom Holland's character of Peter Parker, but it's also a really important moment for just us in what it means to be human and what it means to undergo these metamorphoses, these transformations, these little burials where we grow and change over time.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Exciting. That was a major teaser. You're going to have to say all of that again next week.
I will. Yeah, I will. Probably verbatim, because I'm going to go back and watch this episode a couple times so we can get our views up.
Exactly. You got to go back to it. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week with Spider-Man Homecoming. Come back here, same time, same place.
Can't wait.